Hey everybody, it's Pete. Hope you're having an awesome cup of coffee this morning. We're going to start out with something different today. The stock futures are actually getting hit pretty hard, mostly off of Amazon earnings yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it up a little bit today. We're going to take a look at what's going on in our sector rotation as we do every morning. And then we're going to shift over it. Well, first we're going to take a look at basic material stocks and some of the ones that are popping, for lack of a better way of putting it. And then we're going to jump into to steal somebody else's phraseology, we're going to do a little bit of a lightning round going through stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We're just going to stick right there and determine whether or not any of those stocks or which of those stocks are buying opportunities. And then we're going to have some fun with price levels and drawing trend lines and that kind of stuff. So hopefully it's going to be something that's exciting for you. You can see here basic materials and energy are where we're going to start to work our way over to, mostly basic materials. But I think what's super interesting is technology has made it all the way down to 8 out of 11. But two technology stocks were pretty much at the top of our board yesterday from an active trading perspective. So very interesting that the rotation and how stock specific things are. So stick around. We're going to be back in one just second. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the charts, and we're actually going to go straight into the futures. So we're going to take a look at the ES futures, and we're looking at the September contract right now. And within the September contract, what's interesting is you can see that we're actually down 28 and change, and we've actually bounced from where we were. We were down much bigger. So what I want to take a look at now is why. Why were we getting hit hard yesterday? And it was Amazon. You can see over here at Amazon, when I left, I shut my machine off last night around 5:30. It was down about $212. Now it's actually down close to $230. Something that we talk about a lot, which is guidance. We are not buying what happened already. We're buying this. We're buying this when we look at a company's earnings. We're buying the future. It's a discounting mechanism into the future. So what's happening right now is that a lot of these stocks are battling their coronavirus numbers. And you saw Facebook take a hit, even though their earnings numbers were good. Amazon, the numbers were actually not bad. It's the guidance. So anytime you hear earnings, you need to listen to guidance. Guidance is what we're paying for. We're paying in the futures, in the future. So in the back half of this year is where a lot of these stocks are having a problem. I want to talk very briefly about what we just mentioned here about basic materials and technology. We're actually going to start over here with technology and just give you two ideas that we're watching. And then we're going to take a look at a couple of basic material stocks that are on the board for us right now. So AMD has just absolutely been on fire for a couple of days. You can see it's actually opening lower. We get a lot of questions about, should I be buying this stock now? And the question usually comes, somebody runs a scan and the stock actually pops and pops hard. And like, oh my gosh, I need to get involved in this stock right now because of where it's going. But the challenge is you're getting involved. I'm sorry, my keyboard battery died. The challenge is you're chasing. And it's one of the biggest mistakes that we see with new members coming into the community is running a scanner and getting involved after the stock has had a move of what it normally does. And just to dial this in a little bit more, just to give you the, show you the ferocity of the buying in this stock. Do I still think the stock is a long? Yes, 100%. And for those of you new to trading terminology, a long means that you're looking to buy the stock. However, do I think it's a new swing trade now? And the answer is absolutely no. So we call this trade in our universe, we call this a bullish echo, where the side of the trade is very clear, but the odds of putting on a new swing trade and expecting it to move higher over the next 3 to 5 days versus the risk you have to take for that, at best, it would be 1-to-1. So we don't want to be a break-even trader. We want to set up trades that have at least a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And in this particular instance here, it could go higher, but for what we'd have to risk in order to make the next move, it's not worth it. So we're only looking to day trade this stock. So again, another one is Qualcomm. Qualcomm finally got out of this trading range, setting itself up with plenty of room to go. The gap fill is all the way up here at right around 163. So you can see that there's plenty of room to go. Opening lower with the rest of the market today. So we're really going to be watching what we call the opening range today, that first 15 minutes to an hour to see how it trades. If it catches a bid again, that's the terminology we use, then we're going to be looking to see that stock rally up over the next week up to that 163 level. We just mentioned basic material stocks. So again, we want to keep showing you to follow the smart money, follow the deep pockets, follow the order flow. So I'm just going to show you a few of them that came up on my radar as tradable for today, considerations for today. And something as simple as this is what's kind of interesting. You don't necessarily need to make your trading that complicated. When a stock breaks and breaks on bigger volume, that's something to pay attention to. When it happens in a sector that is also leading the pack, that's when it becomes significant. Now, does that mean it's definitely going up today? No, and this is something that a lot of members of our community really need to wrap their head around, which is the difference between charting, finding trade setups, and then actually putting the trade on and trade management after the trade. I think that last part that I just said is really what a lot of very smart traders miss, that last part. You could put on the best idea on the planet, and I'm actually going to show you a trade that I put on yesterday that didn't make money as a day trade, but I would take the trade 100 out of 100 times, okay? So this is a good idea. I like this idea. The problem right now is that it's coming up to a level where sellers came in. It did break this selling since the beginning of June. This is great. But from a trade management perspective, it would be a little bit less share size on the initial entry and then look to add through that level. So I want to show you another idea that I put on yesterday. And this was a day trade idea where you can clearly see that eBay has been very, very strong here. It's been holding its trend line very cleanly, right? Everything looks great. So what we saw yesterday morning, and I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit, is you see this, what can be called a bull flag in the context of these longer term bullish price action, right? So we actually got what we call a swing low here, and then we broke out in the bigger picture here early in the day. And me, our community, everybody's like, oh, wow, this is a really good idea. And these stocks that tend to break out quickly tend to follow through quickly when order flow is obvious, when the breakout level is obvious. So we took the trade yesterday, and you can see where it broke out. Here's the previous day's high. Here's the breakout level from a few days ago. And you can see that as soon as we put the market open, it exploded, and we got what's known as a topping tail. And then we got another topping tail. And I'm like, okay, that's not supposed to happen. Not what we're looking to see. And we ultimately, on the day trade, we ultimately ended up taking a small loss on the trade. So what's the point here? The point here is, and I'll just go through a few more of these industrial stocks. The point is, great ideas have high probability of making money. Now, you could say, well, if it has a 60% chance, just for argument's sake, that's awesome. That means there's more likely I'm going to make money. I'm definitely going to make money. No, it doesn't mean you're definitely going to make money. It means that there's a good chance of follow through. And that's what separates somebody, that mindset, that thought process. That's what separates somebody from someone who struggles as a chart reader, as a trader, thinking that the trading setups are the be all and end all to making money. They're not. The trade idea is the first part. The quality of the trade idea is kind of like the first part dash A, but then the trade management, how many share size? Do you set up a good risk reward? Are you disciplined to add shares as it's moving in your favor? Are you disciplined to reduce shares as it pulls against you? That's the skill part that we specialize in. That's the skill part of what we do in our order flow bootcamp. So if you're struggling right now and you need to figure out what you're missing in your trading, why you know everything about charts, but you can't seem to make money, that's what's missing. It's the trading management skill after you find a good idea. So I'm going to challenge you right now. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think your biggest struggle is, and we'll follow up with other videos helping you overcome those struggles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump right into, as we promised, we sorted the stocks in the Dow yesterday. We're going to run through them really, really quickly, just giving you a really good idea of how I, bam, look at it, bam, look at it, bam, look at it, whether or not I'd be in the stock or not. Okay, so again, if we take this in the context of the sector rotation, we know basic materials and energy stocks are near the top. Utilities, we really don't trade. Communication services, we saw Facebook take a hit this week. Twitter really hasn't done anything. Financials, Morgan Stanley is really the only one that I like right now. It's resting at or near all-time highs. Sava, a financial stock, actually took a big, a healthcare stock took a big hit yesterday, so we're staying away from that. So we're really looking at basic materials and energy stocks perking up, not necessarily definitely trades, but perking up. So I just showed you a couple of basic material stocks. So now we're looking at Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs, again, very similar to what I just talked about. We're seeing a bunch of melted candles. So this is reading between the lines again. Melted candle means indecision. Indecision because where it opened and where it closed was a very similar number. So 6.5 hours worth of trading happened, an entire day happened, and it opened and closed in the same spot. Very different from that. Very different from that. So indecision, indecision. Inside candlestick, so nothing outside of the previous day. Melted candle, melted candle, melted candle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the last 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the last 6 days, melted candles in Goldman Sachs. So 5 days of indecision and a big resistance level here. I would consider Goldman Sachs over this level, but even then, there's not a lot of upside. So this would be what I just said, a trade where you need to work the order. Okay. Not much going on here in UNH. You can see that it was really obvious for a period of time, and now it's kind of stuck in this box. So what we would call UNH right now is a potential change of trend, and we'd be working the chart with knowing what level it needs to get through before we get involved. Now, we get a lot of questions about what if you like it over that level, why don't you buy it now? I only want to take trades that have room to go. Very, very big deal to understand. Room to go means that if I get involved, I could see my profit potential. If I get involved right now, I could see this is where sellers keep coming in and smashing the stock. So again, from a trade position perspective, that's hard to say in the morning with coffee, without my coffee yet. I could see the idea. I definitely want to be a buyer of the stock, but the profit potential is not strong enough yet. So I need to see an energy candlestick above that level. Okay. Honeywell, melted. Look at all. Now your eyes should be trained to it, right? Melted candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 melted candles in a row. This is impressive that it finally got above this level, but you can see now my argument for why I'm not fighting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it got to this level and hasn't been able to get through there. So we need to see one of these with big volume through this level, and then I'll take a look at Honeywell, and you can see it's actually opening flat. That might actually happen today. All right, Disney. This is a good one here because we're looking at all of this tremendous buying that finally popped through this level, right? So this is kind of what we keep talking about. We want to see something like that. We want to see volume increase through this level. That's great. Followed up by a bullish gap. That's awesome. So what we want to point out here is you can see that there are, if we go back here, April, May, June, and most of April, May, and June, definitely 3 months where there was order flow was not clear at all, finally broke out. So this is an idea where you're leaning on building your argument on basically 4 days of bullish order flow. That's fine. That makes sense. But you would, again, work the order here because it's the first time the stock is breaking out in several months. You're only leaning on the argument of these 4 days of buying. So I would definitely look at this one. It would be one that I'd be taking strongly considering. Travelers, I don't see anything. Can you look at the stock right now and say, oh, gosh, I can't wait to join those buyers? Nope, not even on my radar. Okay. American Express opening looks like it's set to open neutral. Really good, clean, long-term trend. The problem here now is what? A giant reversal candle. We call that a bearish U-turn at the breakout level. Melted candle, melted candle, melted candle, and 1 day of selling. The stock is interesting to me, but I need to see the stock go well bid, which you see here, which is a higher high, higher low, and close near the highs. When I see that, then I'll get involved. Home Depot is pretty interesting. We actually had a swing trade long over here, went sideways for about a month, so we made a decent profit on the trade, not a lot. Finally broke through what was the 324 level, now traded into a pause right above the inside candlestick. So I would actually consider looking at Home Depot today. Nike resting at all-time highs. That's a no-brainer. CVX, remember we just talked about the energy sector? This is where you do your homework. CVX actually bounced. Is it a great idea to be a buyer of this stock right now? No. Is it an idea that is getting interesting? Yes. You can see that all of this selling is finally starting to work its way out where we got a bullish gap, another bullish gap, another bullish gap. So now you're reading the notes within the song, and we finally punched above this. It's interesting. It's not a buying opportunity yet for me. Maybe as a day trade because of the selling, but not longer term. JP Morgan really kind of stuck in the mud, nothing to do there. Caterpillar kind of stuck in the mud, nothing to do there. Visa, very interesting. You can take a look at the longer term picture. You can see it broke out of this big ascending wedge. Had a really good push up, pulled back at the rest of the market, and now it's holding. Now, this is where a lot of people who watch our videos who have not enrolled in the boot camp get kind of confused. If I say I'm looking to buy Visa today, I need to see Visa start moving in my direction, which means I need to see it get above this level. You can see it's actually trading down now. So it's literally $5 away from where I want to get involved. I don't want to buy it on the way down in this case because it paused here. So I need to see it start moving up. So if it gets above that level, we'll look at Visa to make a run towards new all-time highs. DOW, maybe a little bit interesting. We just talked about stocks in this industry group. You can see the downtrend here and a really good move to the upside. But we have this wall where sellers came in. Remember we talked about before how many days of order flow, days, weeks, or months of order flow are you leaning on, betting on, assuming it's going to continue? So we have this bullish order flow versus all of this bearish activity that kept pushing the stock down. So we're kind of neutral here. So it's a change of trend, but all of this I'm not going to get involved with. PG actually kind of flirting, but not really a good order flow. It's kind of sideways for 2 weeks. As you can see here, the last time it had price action like that, it sold off. So I'm going to stay away from that one. Apple earnings, Apple holding up, Apple big double top just below 150. Right now, I'm going to stay away from full position size in Apple, but I need to trade above this for the first piece. And then somewhere up here, when I get another entry signal, I'd be looking for a new entry. So again, Apple is potentially a 1, 2, 3 top here. You can see a double top and this level here. So really the level I'm watching right now is that. And I just want to really give you some good visualization of what I'm watching. Right now, that's the right price for Apple. So if you're trading it within there, sure, you could make a case for trading within this range, which is not something I personally do. But the real trade, the trade for me, remember what I just said, the trade that has room to go. If you look to the left and you see it clears this level and it's got room to go, that's what we're looking for. Right now, can you look at the stock and say, oh gosh, I can see all that room to go? No, you can. Sellers came in and smashed it down. Sellers came in and smashed it down. So kind of stuck right in the middle of that right now. So you have a decision, wait and set an alert for up here, put on a small piece and look for it to get up there. Now, would you do that with the market trading lower right now? Probably not. I'd probably be waiting for it to get above there. Moving along, Intel, I don't see anything. Coke, maybe. What I don't like about Coke is all these melted candles, but not just the last couple of days, most of the time. It wouldn't be a stock that I would actively day trade. Cisco, if we zoom out a little bit, it's kind of doing okay, but I really don't like to get involved in stocks that don't have institutional attention, so really wouldn't be on my radar as a trader. Microsoft pausing their all-time highs. My gosh, do I like this one? It's really just a question of, does it hold? So we had a potential change of trend there. It did not break. It actually went higher, and now we have another move again. So as long as it stays above this level here, we're still looking for long. I like this, what we might call a bull flag. What I don't like is the heavier volume here. So you got to keep an eye. A lot of these tech stocks are taking a hit. Classic technical analysis 101. When you push up and pause, you want to see lighter volume. We're seeing heavier volume, so that's not good. So we would be waiting with less shares, half the position, looking for it to move through this level. Verizon, nothing to do there. Walmart having a hard time getting above and staying above 142, so staying away from that one. IBM had amazing earnings over here, did not over here, so I'm going to leave that one alone right now. CRM is really stuck in the mud. I don't see a trade there right now for myself. Boeing is kind of all over the place, although the industrials perked up a little bit. This is more of a day trade for me. Johnson & Johnson with the rest of that sector still looking okay. Hovering above, so you see the difference here now between room to go, where there's clear skies and possibility to make money, versus getting involved here where you can see the selling and it dropped back down. Walgreens Boots Alliance, I don't see anything. 3M kind of stuck there. Disney has not done anything since it made new all-time highs and actually being sued by Scarlett Johansson right now. Merck, not much to do, not joining the party. And Amgen, not much to do. So hopefully that was a good help for you right there. That's what we do every day. We do it in a lot more detail when we create the game plan, but I just wanted to give you, you need to right away tell, I really can't wait to join those buyers because they're pushing that stock up and there's room to go. If you can't say that to yourself, personally, that's the ideas that I stay away from, okay? So hopefully this helped. If you could just do me a favor, if you found this video helpful, definitely click down, smash that like button, subscribe, hit the alert, and leave a comment. I would absolutely, positively love to help you in this kind of stuff. Just let me know what you're struggling with. Have an awesome day, everybody.